Everson was a constant presence at these Duke University basketball games, and his signature was those Viking horns. He would wear them and be amongst the front row students at the game. And let's look at his parents, Art and Kim Everson, attending tonight's game, and over 1,000 students wearing those Viking horns tonight to pay tribute to Everson.
Well, it is a fine tribute, and again, if you're the opposition, you think a lot of things about the Cameron Crazies, but the one thing that cannot be denied is this is a community. This is a family, and they mourn one of their own, and those Viking hats symbolic of the memory of Drew Everson is just a demonstration of, you know, how you can pull together, how sports brings people together. And it's a sad occasion, but nevertheless, you have to be heartened by the recognition.
Walking through Kayville, we're getting the Crazies pumped. Everybody is so psyched for the game. And then we hear rumors that there are these Maryland fans heckling and harassing the Cameron Crazies. Well, Drew wasn't going to have any of that. So we're walking around, and all of a sudden, he's no longer by my side. He is gone. And you hear the crowd just erupt. People starting to crowd around this little chaos that's going on. And then you see Drew in his little Viking garb pouring beverages all over these Maryland fans. He was definitely defending Duke's honor.
We were trying to get to the stadium the day of the West Virginia game, and we're waiting for a bus to take us into Indianapolis, and we see this one red car pass us, comes back, this woman opens the door and just says, honey, get in the car. So I'm like, okay, like, what's going on here? She was just a woman that we were obviously not in the best place, so during a lunch hour, she kind of picked us up and brought us straight to the stadium, where an hour later, we saw Richard Broadhead, who looked at Drew, and Drew had his Viking helmet on, and he goes, your horns seem extra large today.
Drew loved pranks. We started thinking of all these things we could do, and we basically decided that we wanted to take Zach's car and hide it in Kayville, like in between tents. ESPN game day, the morning of the game, and Drew and I were like, this is the only time we can do this. So we sneak out during filming of game day, and we basically take his car, and while Drew is driving it between tents, I'm like pulling up tent stakes, I'm like making people move so I can get the car in. We get the car in between tents, and we cover it with a tarp, and we like put bricks around it so it really looks like a tent. Drew always wanted it to be a tradition that we pranked every headline monitor at the end of the season. So headline monitors from now on, look out, because it's gonna be a tradition.
Sunday night before the national championship game, we were all wandering around Indianapolis, and my dad and Drew found this fountain. And when I say fountain, I don't mean little fountain, like large Olympic swimming pool size fountain that happened to be a monument in Indianapolis. And my dad and Drew made this bet that if we won the national championship, we were gonna go in the fountain. We all jumped in the fountain. Drew rolled up his jeans. I had my blue dress on, so I didn't need to. We all just like jumped in the fountain and danced around screaming, "We are the champions," and had a sing-along to "We Are the Champions," did Rock Lobster, Every Time We Touch, all our songs for basketball. It was one of those moments I'll never forget.
This right here, tell me what goes out to everyone that has lost someone that they truly love. Come on, check it.
Never got the chance to meet Drew, but it always meant a lot to the team when he was at our basketball games in the front row wearing his Viking helmet. Drew was one of our biggest fans, and I'm glad that he got the chance to go to Indy and watch us win our 4th national championship.
I didn't know Drew, but I did see a guy with a Viking hat on at all of our games. We never lost with Drew in the house wearing that Vikings hat. I don't think that was coincidence.
Still living your life after death.
Every move I make, every single day, every time I pray, I'm missing you, thinking of the day.
interesting thing about the way a cheer starts in Cameron is it actually only starts with one person. One lone voice starts out with, "Let's go Duke." Soon another person joins, and then another, and before you know it, you've got the entire stadium in unison chanting, "Let's go Duke." I really never found it much of a coincidence that Drew was the one who started our cheers at Cameron. Sure, he had an extremely loud voice, but Drew had been doing that same thing his entire life. Drew took hundreds of people, doing different things, leading different lives, and he made them come together in unison. That's just how he was.
I always knew that I could count on Drew to make me smile. He truly embodied what it meant to be a Cameron Crazy. Cameron became a second home, and we all became family. Drew will continue to live on in the first row of Cameron, as the crazy guy in the Viking hat, and the crazy that we all aspire to be.